a big hello to everyone and a very good afternoon from a sunny Dubai to all of you, wherever you are. I would like to request you all, for whoever is not on the speaker video, if you can, under the speaker view, gallery view, can you please switch on to your speaker view? I would, in the beginning, like to thank, as this is actually a Women's Arm first very webinar as such, I would like to thank our Global Director, Mrs. Meher Bhesania, and she's the Global Director for WZCC, the Middle East region. I would also like to thank Behrouz Daruwala, who is the Global Chair of the Women's Wing for WZCC, and Firdaus Irani, who's our chapter chair, and all the other directors of our chapter. So today we have something that we have created a webinar, hoping that you can, even if you take one takeaway from it, I think it would be really good, and you can actually gain a lot from it at the end. So the topic for today's webinar is how to supplement your income in difficult times through retail and fashion. Now we have very interesting three eminent guest speakers. We have Tasneem Merchant, who's an educator and a fashion designer. ARMIN JAMULA, who's a founder and CEO of itsherstore.com, which is an e-commerce platform. And we have DELNA NALLASETH, who is a celebrity stylist. So we will all present, we have some few tips that we can give you, a few solutions that I hope that we can provide for you, which is a good takeaway for you all. My name is FERZIN IRANI. I am the director for the Women's Wing in Dubai of the Dubai chapter. And I'm also the founder for Escale Fashion, which is a fashion apparel for women. And it is based out of Dubai. Yes. So as you can see on your screens now, I have just quickly, it's a brief summary of what we do, about our style, our values, and what we pledge to do. So of course, it's a for-profit organization, but we also work with women organizations. I have in the past worked with the Women's Welfare Association in Ahmedabad, where we have done a collaboration with them. So we do have these collaborations. We work with, our team is all women artisans. So we try and empower the women artisans, trying to find, get them a financial value into their families and communities. I think if there's anything else more that you would like to know about me, you can quickly just send me a message or an email later on. I will go on to talking about the topic that I'm going to speak on, and which is quick tips. Thank you. So the topic which I will start on is about tips from working from home efficiently. Now, a few quick pivot lessons that we could consider over here. And we have realized that under the precedented times that we need to kind of pivot in whatever we are doing currently. So the first being cash flow focus. Now, when we say that, I would suggest that you work out of a budget for the next 6 months, which helps your finances during this difficult period. Also, keep your expenditure way within your budget. The next one, I'm not going to take very long for these points because it's self-explanatory. And I'm just going to quickly just give you a brief of what you need to keep in mind when we are under the current situation. Become opportunistic. So definitely look around the problems that we have at the moment, which are not being solved well, and come up with a solution that could be, become a big, great company tomorrow. So for example, I actually was messaging Ms. Behrouz Daruwala, and she said something really nice where she said that she was actually granny sitting for a friend's aunt. And I was thinking there are, in today's time, there are so many elderly who are actually by themselves, you know, who are away. I have my own parents back in India, and they are by themselves. And it would be so great, as you have something like babysitting, you also have pet sitting. If we could come up with an idea and actually, have a startup where we could, kind of babysit, I wouldn't say babysit, or look after a elderly for maybe a couple of hours in a day, in a week, or maybe on a monthly basis. I think this is something that we can all think of. And, it could be something really useful, also helpful. And I do know that in Bombay, in the Parsi colony, people actually do this voluntarily. But it would be a great thing if somebody can come up with the idea and create a company, and whereby, you don't have to worry about having your elderly being left alone by themselves. So that's a great opportunity, or one. So you need to kind of think where you could actually use your skills, and what you could do for the society as well as for yourself. The next point, innovate quickly or diversify. Now, we do know that change is a constant that we have to accept, but we also need to keep in mind that diversity is a reality that we cannot deny. So if you're a business owner, for example, you can innovate with your products, your cost allocations, your services. For example, we know today that restaurants in the US have started selling alcohol along with the food orders, or even their daily essentials like bread, milk, and eggs along with their food orders. So people don't really have to step out many times. So that's a great idea. Even when you know of companies selling juices or milkshakes or other products, food products, they actually are even providing little digital booklets for recipes to make it more interesting, to provide more for their customers, so to engage more, and have more customers for themselves. Now, so you have to kind of, if you are in service and you need to kind of introspect, what is it that you have as a skill, or maybe you have done it a few years back, and you could get into it again. So for example, I actually used to teach French and have the knowledge of the French language. And I recently realized that that's something I could take up, as a supplemental income. So at the moment, I'm actually helping out friends' kids on Zoom with their difficulties in the French language, since it's all remote learning. And it's a great thing for them, because they can keep asking me until, they need not have to worry to be in a team or in a classroom. And it's a one-to-one kind of an individual attention given to them. And they are, they like the idea that they can actually ask anybody at ease, somebody who's on the other side, but may not be a teacher. So you need to introspect, see what skills you have, or what skills you could actually get through training. Maybe it's just you have so many online e-learning, websites and programs that you can do, and learn something from there. Then you have the next point, for example, invest in yourself. So we do realize that, especially more now, we do know that upskilling is key, but right now it's even more important during this pandemic. We know that there has been a soar in job losses, and upskilling and reskilling needs to be given a real emphasis, a real push at every level. Identify new trends. So we have seen a lot of changes in trend behavior around us. We do know retail, which has incurred huge losses. There are ways where there are stores which have quickly, migrated and have kind of online stores. Even the ones which did not have and was like a secondary to the brick and mortar stores have become the major online stores. And that dynamic is now shifting, and it's not going to stop. It's only going to continue and increase. So saying that these are all the quick points that you can keep in mind, need to consider, and you know, before you can actually think of, you know, what else can I do? How else can I have the income if your main income has been, your active income has been affected or taken away. So what I would like to speak on is work smart and efficiently from home. Now, upcycling, this is something which was already around. It has gained more significance, has become more, it has increased month after month. And of course, what is upcycling? It's resourcing, upcycling, and customizing garments, for example. This has become more popular now than ever. So for example, you have faded jeans, you have, you know, jeans that no longer fit you. How could you actually upcycle these? You can actually make planters, the covers for your plants with jeans. You could have tote bags made out of jeans. So you need to think, how can you do this? Now, how can you actually use this if you do have the skill and make an income out of it? For example, if you do have the sewing skills, you do have the creative skills, or you could actually take this and create, you know, upcycle and create garments for your friends and family to start with, and then actually have you know, a small startup, and you could start selling online. And you have Etsy.com where you can sell, and you have so many platforms today where you can actually sell from home. Amazon as well, you could sell from home. So it would be really great. If you do have the sewing skills, you do have the creativity, even if you do not have the sewing skills, perhaps you would like to hire just one tailor and collaborate with a tailor or maybe a local team in the area who could actually do this for you. And, you know, that would be a great thing. We ourselves, as at Escale, what we do is we take all the remnants of our fabrics from our previous collections, and we, this is the collaboration I even did in Ahmedabad with the women artisans, and we created jackets, short and long cover-ups, which are very versatile and can be used by people all over. So that's another, upcycling is a great way of doing it. Another next one would be writing and editing. Now, most of us do have these skills, but if you actually could take up a small short course online with probably Udemy or any of these online platforms, there are so many things you can actually position yourself strategically. And if you have these skills, and you can do your writing in many fields. You could be a copy editor, content writer, which is really the need of the hour these days. You could be, you know, a sub editor. So there are different fields where content today has become king. And you know, you need great kind of content to you know, to give it to your consumer, which is very important. So you could do something like that. And there are many platforms where you could actually put up, you know, your advertise. For example, in UAE we have, or even elsewhere, you could do, since it's online, anyone could do it from anywhere. It's called Upwork, and you could, you know, advertise yourself on Upwork for these skills. You could advertise yourself on Nabesh. So there are many online platforms where you could actually sell your skills and your work, and whereby people could contact you directly. And that's one way of making your supplemental income. The next one is a virtual assistant. So virtual assistant, as we all know, needs administration skills, which many of us would have. And you could work independently from home. So if you do have the skills, you would like to work virtually for a company. There are many companies in Dubai which actually hire virtual assistants, which are outside the region and not necessarily over here. Next one, we have e-freelancing. So this again, this was a remote workforce, and now this has become even more important during this time. And this e-freelancing has become the new norm for in the, you know, first time in modern history. I think it has gained a lot of importance. There are many freelancers out there with their skills, and they are generating more, so they have become more important now. They're generating new business and also focusing on customer care. They are actually doing much better. Some of them may not, but there are others who are concentrating on customer care and actually opening out new avenues. There are, again, a lot of platforms here. You have them in US, which is Squad Help. You have them in India called Flexing It, Go Floaters. So there are a lot of these platforms whereby you can actually, use your skill and have them and work with consumers or your clients directly. Then we have the the customer support representative. Now, as this name suggests, well, who is a customer support representative or a customer support rep? Is someone who interacts with customers, handles complaints, provides orders and provides information, processes orders. So there, we know that a lot of beauty and skincare companies actually did very well during the lockdown period. And a lot of them needed customer support, online customer support. And that's a great way of, having your skills. You could apply to different companies. You could put it out there and say, you could do this. And this is a great way of making a supplemental income as well. You would need just communication skills, problem solving, and computer skills. Next one we have is data entry. So as we know, a data entry clerk is somebody who enters or updates data in a computer system. He's an operator who is required to verify or edit data that is entered. So this can be done from a remote location as well. You need not have very high qualifications for this, and even a person with a high school diploma actually can do this, and you can do it probably for different companies. And I know there are a lot of, I have somebody in Pune who's doing it for some company in Canada. So this is something you could sit in your own home and have this done and make a good income, and actually even go on to with different platforms where you would want to work for more than one company. Contact tracing. Now, many countries, they're trying to emerge out of this quarantine cocoon, as we would say, so to get their economies back on track. Now, one of the most important steps to reopen the different economies safely would be to create a system of contact tracing. Now, contact tracing, what is this? Now, this is a process of identifying, assessing, and managing people who have been exposed to a disease to prevent onward transmission. Now, this is something that again can be done online. The training is given. It is about a 90-hour course that can be done online. It is a self-paced online course that you can learn and actually help the place that you are in, the countries. You do not really need, again, a lot of qualifications. They do train you. So a high school diploma for this is good enough in most of the countries. The next one we have is Translator. Now, this is something that I have looked into and started doing with my knowledge of French. Of course, you would need 2 languages to be, to have proficiency in 2 languages as a translator, the source and the target language. You need to evaluate your skills and identify the areas that you can actually provide your services. A good, contract for this work would be, you need to have a good contract written in this industry. You need to reinvent yourself, embrace change. It's a time of learning and adapting. So I know that in my case, I actually learned French long back, but I've always kept in touch with it. And right now I have a flyer a company flyer that I need to translate, I guess, soon after the webinar. So there are ways of, looking, introspect, see what you were good at, decide if your active income is actually kind of, get affected. So there are a lot of opportunities. You need to see what, what can help you the best. Don't give up hope. Be there and, try and get the best out of the situation. I now will like to introduce Tasneem Merchant, who is going to be our next speaker. Now, Tasneem is actually a fashion designer and an educator, and she studied out of the NIFT College in Bombay, which is the National Institute of Fashion Technology. She has done an extensive research on banana fiber spinning and construction of fabric since 9 years. She has worked to commercialize the use of different blends of banana pseudostem fiber. So I hand it over to Tasneem for her next presentation, and I hope you all will all find it useful. Thank you.
Hello, you can hear me? Hello? Hello, you can hear me?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Hi. So as Ms. FERZIN has rightfully given a wonderful introduction, I first of all would like to thank all the WZZ members and Meher ma'am, Beroz ma'am, who have been really kind enough to give me this opportunity to speak to all the members. Okay, so a very, very short, brief introduction. I'm sure I have mentioned a few things. So a 20-year-old career in fashion, numerous fashion shows all over the world. And of course, I would like to say about this one job in my life, which was in 2010, 2011, when I was a designer, creative head of Sepia. So this is directly relevant to the topic we are trying to do today, which is generating jobs and, generating the retail side of garment industry, as I would like to put it. So this was basically making 8,000 garments for spring, summer, or autumn, winter. As you all know, we have two seasons the year round. Okay, so we used to make 450 styles, and then SKUs, which is the stock keeping unit, was 8,000 pieces, keeping in mind that the costing has to be minimum. At the same time, the garment has to be very versatile, and at the same time, it has to be fashionable. It has to have the top fashionable feel to the garment. So these three things are very important in today's time also. That is why I would like to stress on this, that at that time it was, because we were always marking up our products 4 times to be retailed to different stores. So when we came to know our production cost, we used to always feel that at this rate, how can we achieve these economies? How will we achieve this cost? But today, in a cash-strapped economy all over the world, I feel foremost and foremost, this is important, that we look at creating or look at production to the extent of making it cost effective. So can we have the next slide, Mr. Yazdi? Yeah. So coming back to our focus for today, I would like to stress on 5 R's, very important 5 R's. One is reinvent, revive, reuse, recycle, and rebrand. So what I mean by reinvent is that it is high time that we do a self-introspection and we reinvent ourselves to our hidden talents, hidden goals, and creativity. I'm sure all these beautiful women who are members of WZCC and also the other women who are part of the webinar today are very, very creative, and definitely they have these creative energies to unleash. So this is a good time to re-evaluate and apply creative minds to find different solutions. For this, we will definitely need to come up with teamwork and collaboration. One cannot work in isolation anymore in these challenging times. By revive and reuse, obviously, FERZIN has mentioned a bit about the revival of garments and reusing, and of course, upcycling of garments. So coming back to her denim example, I would like to stress something more on that, I had done a project with the Hong Kong Fashion Week in 2009, when there was a world recession and Esprit had more than lakhs of denims lying unsold. So students had to come up with different innovative strategies, different designs to sell those denims, and we did it. There was a whole section devoted to only recycling the dead stock. So you have so many, I would like to say that the members can even look around. The retail outlets have so many dead stock lying, not only in your homes, but in factories. There's stock lots. There'll be fabric lying wasted in so many places. So there is no need for you to increase your cost at any point of time. Use your creativity and come up with innovative solutions to be it garments, or as FERZIN said, it could be accessories, it could be anything. And the sky is the limit. Because today fashion definitely at a forefront is shifting towards sustainable, finding sustainable solutions. As of course, I've been associated with the Indian Ministry of Textiles. So we are also trying to look at natural fiber blends, because our original fiber, like natural fibers, namely cotton, linen, are depleting, jute are depleting day by day. So this is the project which has been undergone for the last decade, I would say. And the same would go in terms of ready garments. The same would go in terms of anything, any material product which is lying unsold. So basically today, let's bring out all our creative energies and work towards the upcycling mode. Now, what do you mean by democratization of fashion? Anybody who knows the meaning, please raise your hand or type 1 in the box. Anyone who knows what is democracy of fashion? Type in yes, or you can just type in something on the box. Okay. Okay. So what I mean is that we have so many fashion bloggers today. We have so many fashion influencers, and we have so many students, be it from any field, be it management, or be it aside doctors or engineers. Everybody is looking at fashion website and portal. Am I right or wrong? I mean, today I would say yes. I have somebody saying yes. Okay. So today everybody is looking at fashion. Everybody wants to look good because it adds to your confidence. Why do we wear fashionable garments? Why do you carry beautiful bags? Why do you have the latest hairstyles? Of course, don't look at me. I'm old. I'm 40 plus. So I would not be the right person to promote anything. But yes, we have these beautiful young 20-year-olds wanting to showcase everything which is beautiful and fashionable, be it any stream they are. Because of democracy of fashion, they are looking at Instagram bloggers, they're looking at so many of these stylists, they're looking at celebrities. And mind you, people are following Miley Cyrus and anybody around the world. It need not be somebody like Kareena Kapoor, no longer. No longer. That was true when we were young, when we were always addicted to our Indian, made in India, desi actresses and all. That's not true anymore. So the new generation is very lucky. In fact, let me go on beyond that and say that you guys are so lucky that the Generation Z, that you have a whole lot of information available on the net. The consumers are aware about changing times. You know what is the zeitgeist. You know what I mean by zeitgeist? Spirit of the times. You know what is in, what is out, what is fashionable, what is not fashionable, what colors are running. So what are you waiting for? Today is the trend for DIY. As I think this catchword is with everybody, even with cooking skills today. I can see in lockdown some, young girls and old aunties and everybody. I mean, if I call myself old auntie, okay, me too, doing the DIY thing, taking YouTube recipes and everything. Okay, so DIY is here to stay. You have styles at your disposal. You have fashion at your disposal. So what are you waiting for? You can even transform your beautiful garas into beautiful draped garments. We have done one workshop on how to transfer garas, remove the borders, make it into a draped garment and look fashionable. You want it for 30 years, 20 years, your dadi's garas. Use it, wear it, feel good, feel confident, feel beautiful. Okay, and your virtual lookbook is here to stay, because designers cannot afford to definitely make garments and sell them like before. Like today, if you tell me that, okay, 2,000 pieces as samples to showcase, I will think twice. I rather have 200 garments as samples and then take orders on it. or I can even do a virtual lookbook wherein I'm not making the garment also, but I'm using my digital skills. I'm using Photoshop, I'm using Fashion Illustrator to come up with a lookbook, to come up with a creative design. So there is no need to invest money on that angle also. In fact, in the later slide, I will explain you that we have a job opening for creative designers in this group. Then again, coming back to the point, sampling digitally and value for money. So I would like to say, friends, don't you think we all want to do this? We all want value for money today. How many of you want to spend your money today on anything which is not a necessity? Tell me. Press Y if you agree with me. Why? We all want to spend money on only necessities, but we still want to look good. Yes, somebody said, Armin. So we all want to look good. We still want to look fashionable because we want to keep ourselves motivated. We don't want to give away the motivational factor. Even in lockdown or even post-COVID, when we are hard pressed for jobs, still we want to keep high that yes, in 2 months, in 3 months, we'll be back to normal and definitely we will be doing great. So today, friends, is a time to prepare. God has given you these months to do some self-introspection and prepare for the future by adding skills, by skill development, by recycling, by thinking about the environment and what you can give. Each day, every person has to think, what else can I give to the world? How can I add value? Can I add value in what way? Okay. So, Mr. Yesdi, can I shift to the next slide? Or yeah. So again, since consumers are very aware of the situations, so there will be members in the group also who have ready studios with them, ready stores. Like I have a studio and everybody asks me that, are you open? What is the safety norm? I mean, if they buy the garment or if they order a garment, of course, bridal wear today, we cannot hope of continuing because for the next 3-4 months, most of the weddings have been postponed or cancelled, or people are just doing in-house weddings. But it's important when you're doing even a small order or you're upkeeping your orders for your buyers abroad. So certain norms, A, fair working conditions are here to stay. It's very important for you as a designer or as a creative person to instill the confidence in your consumer that the place you're working, the workers you're working with are giving fair working condition. They are adhering to certain safety norms. Of course, since most of us want to give jobs to our own people because they have lost jobs, local production. Why are we thinking of importing garments when we can give the workers work over here? Instead of giving upfront money, give them work, give them some incentive to work and teach them safety norms yourself. So this will not only give them liquidity in these times, but also help you to instill this safety and fair working conditions in them. Then of course, vegan is self-explanatory, biodegradable. What I mean by biodegradable, I will come to circular economy also. Both are intertwined. What you given is what goes back. Okay, so make sure that everything is plastic free. Today in the lockdown, we have beautiful, I mean, in fact, in India, I would say in Mumbai for one. If you guys, any of you guys are from Mumbai, the pollution levels have gone down drastically. So let's use this opportunity to make sure that ban on plastic, use products which are natural, use recycled products. I'll give you a good example of a close friend of mine who's a chartered accountant. Okay, so what he did in lockdown is that his dad had a very traditional business of automobile spare parts or something like that happening in Grant Road, which is close by. And he used to always see these tires just lying down. He used to see it on the road all over. And one day he decided that, these are just lying and piled and nobody is picking up. So he went in because he used to help in food provision and everything. So he picked up and he himself did some DIY videos, which you guys also can do. So do it yourself videos. The rubber sole, the tire was used as a flat base as soles for the shoes. And then he got the top made with ready, you get these ready tops, which he decorated, and it became a home business in lockdown. In 3 months, the wife and child and everyone decided to make it beautiful, and they put it online. They put it on Instagram. If you want, I'll provide you the link also. So things like small things of that is going into making an enterprise. A thing like rubber, which is recycled, which is not even of any value, which would be thrown. The rubber tire, you know, you understand, when the tire goes flat, they cut it up, used as tire soles. So many things can be made besides garments, besides accessories. Okay. Next slide, Mr. Yazdi. Okay. So I would like to talk about, for the tires and for the accessories. At the onset, I would like to talk about this job, which, as Miss Farzeen said, and even Miss Meher, that any of you creative souls in the group can definitely directly mail me or through WZCC for accessories designing and development, as we have a tie-up with Tommy Hilfiger. So as Farzeen rightly said, that today, because of China ban and everything happening, most of the international designers are looking at India as a prime local sourcing place. Okay, it could be anywhere in your home place, also from any part of the world you are. But this is a job offering which is open now. You have to take inspiration from any of the Tommy Hilfiger bags, but make it sustainable. Since our label is sustainable, we are trying to do a collaboration. So make it sustainable, make it something different, make it out of the box, make it very creative, but make it functional, make it neat, and quality is the most important. You don't have to physically make it, you just have to design it and sketches. There are many prizes for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth winner, which definitely I will share with the group later. And the first 2-3 designers who win will definitely be absorbed in the company. It could be an online job also. So it's not important which part of the world you are sitting. Okay. Secondly, coming again to our presentation, skill development, online education, e-commerce, digital marketing, trend forecast, short-term, long-term. So by skill development, again, club it with short-term and long-term courses, which we are running. You can definitely get in touch with us for any fashion-related, fashion retail management related programs. If anybody is interested in a short-term program also, or creative fashion styling, we are definitely open for inquiries. So innovative marketing strategies. Very well, these 2 lines caught my attention. While you're indoors, keep the love alive, shoppers stop. So think of these catch lines for Instagramming. Today there is so much, I mean, everybody is on all the social media platforms, which was never there. Today, I think I'm talking to more people, 1,000 people more than I would have ever spoken in real life situation, because there's so many who are definitely interacting with you on day-to-day basis. So make it catchy, make it exciting, and make it fun for them. So any of the collections you're making or any creativity you're doing, please put it up and please caption it well. Okay. And most important, make it personalized. A small thing like a small pillow or small bag, if it's personalized, or either you put the person's initials on it, it adds value to it. First thing that person will say, yeah, please, I want it because my initial is there, or my name is there. Okay. And lastly, I would like to say, yes, necessity versus luxury. Today, all of us are looking at production, garments, bags, footwear, everything which is essential. What is necessary? We are not looking at couture. We are looking at Pret. We are looking at ready-to-wear garments, low-cost production, quality over anything else, over pricing also. And I would like to stress a lot of importance of athleisure wear today, which is really doing very well all over the world. So any of you who are into knitwear companies, or any of you having an access to any kind of industries which are into knitwear, please look at athleisure. Athleisure are track pants, I would not even call them track pants because they're very smart. You can wear it out. They are garments which you can wear indoors and outdoors. Everybody is trying to look at both the combinations today, because you are locked down, but you're still locked out. So you want to look good all the time. Of course, adhere to safety environments and unleash your creative genes. I'm sure everybody in this group is creative. Do try and enhance those skills by learning new programs, you can definitely get in touch with me. And also as designers, if anybody is interested, can definitely message. And WZCC, thank you very much for giving me this platform. Thank you once again.
Thanks very much, Tasneem. That was really interesting. I think this is going to make our audience, kind of think and, what they are good at, and probably come up with a skill that they can actually use and, create something at home itself. As you rightfully mentioned about Gara, I actually would like to put out this opportunity, because this is something that we are looking into and are working on and are in the research and development phase. That if you would know, if you or you know of some lady who actually does the Gara embroidery, we are actually trying to incorporate these on modern day garments. So we're trying to revive the Gara embroidery, of course, not on the traditional saris that they come as, but we are going to incorporate on modern day garments. So, we have the embroidery, and the art still around. So that's one of the things. We are also looking at kind of, having agents or distributors in India. So if you know of someone who would actually like to be an agent for, Escale fashion, it could be with a drop ship. So you need not have to worry about, the courier and delivery services. We will look into, or the customer care. So we will look into all that. But if you all have, somebody that you know of, or you would like to do it yourself, please get in touch with me, and I can get a reply back immediately with what the interest is. Saying that, now coming on to our next speaker, who's DELNA NALLASETH. Now, DELNA is actually a celebrity stylist. So she has worked with celebrities, which is really exciting. She has worked with the label of Anita Dongre as well. She's dressed up, really eminent personalities like Meera Rajput Kapoor and Malvika Sangvi and Pankaj Advani. She is not just a celebrity stylist, she's also a brand product consultant, wardrobe consultant, and personal shopper. So I think with somebody like DELNA, we all women would actually hope that we had somebody, that we knew somebody like DELNA, and you could always go to. She could be our go-to person whenever we had some wardrobe malfunctions or we needed some kind of advice. So DELNA, I hand it over to you for your next topic, and hope you like it.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm DELNA NALLASETH, and today I will be speaking to you about how one can reduce shopping expenses by shopping smartly, and how my journey through wardrobe consulting and personal shopping helped me through this pandemic, and I tried and monetized it for myself, and how this is something that you could do as well. So to begin with, Mr. Tantra, can we have the next slide? So to begin with, shop smart and save money, need versus want. I think the most important thing today is to identify and to understand that brands have sort of instilled this in our head that we have to go out there, we have to buy products, we have to want this and need this, but it's psychologically put into our head because what brands do now is they release these small capsule collections every week to entice you to say this is new, this is something you should have. And I think if today we do a little bit of introspection and try and curb our shopping expenses, it will really be fruitful for us. One way in which we could do this is to downsize your wardrobe. Go through your wardrobe, understand the pieces that you have, and see whether they can be reused. Because a very cluttered wardrobe makes you feel like you don't have enough. Everything that's in your wardrobe, you can't really identify it, so you feel, let's not view it, let's go and get something else. So I think downsizing your wardrobe is going to play a very key role. you can also reinvent your existing wardrobe by picking pieces that you currently have in your wardrobe and restyling them. And so for example, if you have a trouser that you really like and you've always worn it with different types of shirts, you could now maybe restyle it for yourself by wearing it with a top and a jacket, or even matching it with a kurta, so that it looks new and it doesn't look like it's been repeated. The next point is the art of mixing and matching the old with the new. So this takes me back to my first point, which is to shop smartly. You rather buy one item that you can use multiple times as opposed to buying 5 items that you can only wear once. So try mixing your old products that are in your wardrobe with newer items that you can purchase. So if you have a jacket that you really like, you can purchase just a dress that goes with it, or you could purchase one top and use your old trousers and restyle your look. So shopping smart is something that's going to take you through this pandemic. And I think all of us personally love to shop, but to curb ourselves and control and shop smartly is very, very important. The next step would be home is where the work is. So through my journey, I always concentrated more on my fashion and celebrity styling. That's what gave me the eyeballs. That's what got my name out there. But during this lockdown, I realized that I need to monetize another aspect of my job by sitting at home. And that's when I decided to push forward my wardrobe styling and my personal shopping career. And I was very surprised because my clients who were at home still wanted to avail these services. They said, it's okay that we can do it virtually, and you can shop online for us and you can assist us in what to purchase. So for y'all, it's very important to sort of identify what part of fashion or styling you are interested in. So fashion as the umbrella is there, but there are lots of aspects under it. There are a lot of branches that you can select what works for you and what you would like to do. So the best way to identify it would be to sort of do research on the subject first, see what people are doing out there, see what other stylists are doing, what other people in the fashion industry are doing, and sort of use them as a baseline to grow your business. So as today, you're using me as an example where I tried to monetize my fashion wardrobe styling and my personal shopping. There are a lot of other people out there who've monetized these types of aspects of fashion. So you do a little bit of research and that will take you a long way. You can also do online courses, study about what fashion exactly is. What you could even do multiple courses, which is a fashion course, and then specialize into wardrobe styling or celebrity styling, which will sort of help you get an
Hi, Mr. Tantra. I think we've lost her.
Yes, I think she'll get back.
Yes, yes.
Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, now we can, Delna. Yes, go ahead, please.
Can we have the next slide, please? And lastly is marketing. What we've noticed that even though you're sitting at home, marketing is the best way to get your name out there, what you do, and what people can look to hire you for. So as a stylist, you're not going to be marketing a company, you'll be marketing your own personal self. You'll be marketing an individual, and that's very easily doable from home. You can start with social media and creating a social media presence for yourself. It's very important to do that because people can connect with you via that. They get to know what exactly you do and what you stand for and what your business is and what services you offer. So you can create a very interesting Instagram page, a Facebook page even, or even a website that sort of implies what you do. And lastly, word of mouth is the best way to go forward in our industry, because it's such a close-knit industry, and the services that we offer are so personal in a way. So I'll give you an example. I started wardrobe styling and personal shopping completely through word of mouth. I experimented on my family and friends, and I decided to give these services to one of my very close friends. So I broke into her wardrobe, decluttered it, restyled it, and sort of convinced her that she didn't really need to shop for so many items, because everything that she needed was right there. It just needed to be reinvented. And then we went out and shopped for certain items which she would have needed, but other than that, that was it. And that service that I offered her, she found it so useful that she eventually started spreading the word that there is somebody like this who can help you with these issues. And that's how I monetized wardrobe styling and personal shopping in this pandemic. And it's been a very interesting journey, because I thought that, I mean, nobody would want to avail these services in a 3-month lockdown, but there were lots of women who were sitting at home, who had Zoom calls to attend, who had important corporate meetings to attend on Zoom, and they just didn't know what the right attire would be to wear for these meetings. And that's where I came in. So I think the takeaway from this would be is that whatever aspect of fashion you decide to sort of take on, you can monetize it. This is the way I decided to monetize it. And there are a lot of online courses that can help you decide what exactly you would want to do. And I'm more than happy to help you offline with what path to take and how to sort of close down and lock down on what you would like to do eventually. And yeah, thank you so much. And I'd like to pass it on to Armin now.
Thank you so much, Delna. That was really insightful. So I think all of us have got some tips. So now we can be more cautious with our shopping, and be mindful of all the clothes that we have in our wardrobes. Moving on to Armin Jamula, who is the founder and CEO of an online platform called It's Her Store and itsherway.com. Now, this is a very interesting platform. It's not just any e-commerce platform, but it is one of the UAE's pioneering platform for women-owned businesses. So it is a product-based e-commerce platform, as well as a skill-based e-commerce platform. And what her company actually helps is to drive more new opportunities, reach new audiences through collaborations across industries, and actually empower more women to join them and be able to sell their products or skills on their platform. So thank you for being with us today and being a panelist today, Armin. And I hand it over to you to introduce yourself and speak about the platform. Thank you.
Thank you, FERZIN. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, good evening, wherever we are. I see that we're global citizens here, and we're from all parts of the world. So great. I'm really excited. Being a Parsi, this is probably the first Parsi webinar or interaction online that I've done with the community. So I'm extremely proud and extremely excited to be here. I just want to add to the introduction that FERZIN has given. I have been in Dubai for over a decade, and I have done everything when it comes to marketing, entrepreneurship, female leadership, education, and dabbled in quite a few things. The one thing that has stayed with me, and the one thing that I always start my anything that I need to share with people, or my piece of advice, is this quote, which has really inspired me, and that goes like this. It says, "No one will ever pay you what you're worth. No one will ever pay you what you're worth, but they will only ever pay you what they think you're worth." Now, that's something to think about, right? But you control their thinking. If you don't control their thinking, there's something wrong in what you're doing. I want to spend a little time explaining what I mean. Being a woman, being an entrepreneur, I have been very, very fortunate to have had the opportunities that I've had. Not all of us have those opportunities, but we have to fight to make them. And that's what me and my business is all about. I am the founder and CEO of It's Her Way. And that's a female-led entrepreneurship platform that helps every single woman who wants to run a business of her own, be it a product or a service, to successfully run it and scale it up and grow it. That's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. Yeah, and also we believe when women support each other and when women do better, economies do better, because we are creators of in our own selves. We create life, right? So we can create everything else. We can create anything else. On that note, next slide, please, Mr. Yazdi. So through this journey, I realized that it's not only going to be enough to just motivate women and, you know, be just telling them things and, you know, being all fluff. What I had to do was create a framework that actually transactionally supports them. And that's where my e-commerce platforms came about. The e-commerce platforms actually give them the facility and the ability to sell without having a license from anywhere else in the world, and without having a proper online presence. Now that is very, very important for every single stage of life we are in right now, because yes, one, you need to be online, but the amount of knowledge you need to be online and the amount of effort and the money that you need to spend to build your brand online, it's not easy. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Let's be honest. But that doesn't mean that you don't have the opportunity to go online and you can't do a business. That's where we come in. If a business idea is great, and if a business idea has 0 to 3 months in operation also, we can still take you online and really promote you, take you to the next steps. So the platforms that we've created are It's Her Store and It's Her Skill. And the framework that we have is supporting women through 3 C's: commerce, community, and collaboration. Collaboration is something that we do with every single woman who's part of the membership. We help them, guide them through marketing, through promotions, as well as getting them open doors with suppliers, blogger partnerships, institutions, even pitch documents, marketing strategies, and all of those things. Community is where we train them, we mentor them, and commerce, as I said, the first thing, e-commerce. So that's a bit about me. Amazing last couple of minutes, last 45 minutes, I think, have been spent on a lot of things that we've talked about, especially specifically to fashion. But I'd like to go a little broader, because I think fashion and many other things can be looked into right now in this time and post the pandemic. Hopefully pandemic is going to get over, but the economy has changed forever. How do we survive? There are 2 things that I want to focus on and that I want to talk about on. One is, if you already are running a business, how do you need to sustain that? And 2, the second part will be, if you want to start off a new business, what is it that you need to do? I'm not going to dwell on industry. I'm just going to give you broad level, perspectives and pointers that we have seen work for our people and my community. Just to let you know, over the past 3 years, we have mentored at It's Her Way over 500 women entrepreneurs. And it's been a beautiful journey. I know them. I know every one of them personally. In fact, FERZIN and I know each other from that as well. FERZIN from Escale, she's been our vendor for over a year now. So yeah, it's a growing community where we all support one another. Coming back to how to rebuild and sustain. There are a few things that we need to just accept. It is the time to modify and adapt. What you need to adapt is something that you need to just look into in yourself. If, for example, even us at It's Her Way, we have faced a lot of challenges today with revenue streams, with online purchase. Although e-commerce has been very, very up and running and the sales have increased there, us being a very niche brand obviously faced those challenges, but we overcame them very, very bravely, I have to say. So modification and adaptation is something that you have to keep in mind all the time. And don't be afraid of trying it out, because this is the time to try and just experiment. You have a low period, you know that, you have to accept it and then go forward with that. One of the most important things right now when you're facing consumers and you have a consumer facing business, where your end user gets a product or a service that you're giving them, is safety. Every single consumer is worried about how something is made, where it's made, how it's packed, how it's, you know, delivered to them. So if you are a product facing brand, and if you have a brand that actually reaches to the customer tangibly, you have to make sure you communicate to them that you're safe and you're safely doing that. That is one thing that will help you survive and help you still be on top of mind for all your customers in this day and age. The other thing is take a step back, slow down, but don't stop. It's very important not to stop, guys. If you stop, you're giving your opportunity to someone else who has decided not to stop today. Don't do that. Just go on. Something good will come about. You will evolve. We know that change is the only constant. One of the speakers said that earlier today. Change is the only constant. So if we know that, why are we being afraid of changing and evolving over a period of time? Running a business or even thinking of starting something on your own, the first thing that you need to have is the mindset of changing every single minute and every single month, perhaps. Exploration also. Become a child in your thought. Become as childlike as you can, because that's going to make you open your horizon in your mind to explore new possibilities. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you have a broken leg or one eye. Honestly, it matters on how motivated you are to still run the race. It really does. I see some smiles, so I'm happy about that. So next, my last point on this about sustaining and continuity is give freebies, butter them up. It's time to, like, you know, try to keep your customers in your hand, because yes, there are people who might take your customers away. So how do you get them? Give freebies. For consultants, for people who are giving services, what you must do, and what I think is really working for, you know, the skillers and the freelancers that we have on our platform, are that they're giving free workshops, free webinars, free education. A lot of these things are coming free for the first bit. Once they know the person, they're going to be more willing to pay for their services. So please try and incorporate a bigger amount, a larger amount of freebies and incentives to gain and retain your trust and loyalty. That's my slide for rebuilding and regain. Next slide, please, Mr. Yazdi. Yeah. So the question for people who've not delved into, you know, running a business, do you think you should run a business? That question you have to answer yourself from within. Do you know? Do you want to do it? Do you not want to do it? But is this a good time? Absolutely. Absolutely. The best time you can offer. One of the things that I want to say, especially in Dubai and UAE, or any region for that matter, but Dubai specifically, where the laws are so, not so stringent, I would say, but more, everything is related to an investment. Whereas, you know, India is different in terms of an economy. So if you want to start up a business in Dubai, this is the time. The next 18 months are going to be a joyride for you when it comes to paying for your registration, paying for your setup costs, paying a lot of things that you would pay through your nose otherwise. So take that opportunity. Invest. If you have a little bit of savings, just put it in. It's not going to go waste. At least you'll have 18 months in your hand to work through it. Otherwise, you would have paid probably double. If you're a resident, let's say in JLT, DMCC is offering no rent, you know, options for your businesses, and you just have to show that you're a resident of JLT, and you'll get a business license for as low as 8,000 dirhams. Now that, compared to a 40,000 dirham license, is phenomenal. There are lots of, you know, offers that are there. Just grab them, take them, and run with them. That's where I say much lower setup cost in businesses. Also, there are lots of free things that are available online. So you can set up your business and then pay later. You have installment plans and so on and so forth. Getting online and start testing. Much like our platform, it's her store and it's her skill. These two platforms don't need any trade license. You guys, whoever wants to sell with us, be it a freelancer, a service provider, or someone who's selling products from home, does not need to have a trade license, because you would trade on our trade license. Just giving you an example. I'm not sure if Amazon and Noon is allowing that, but we are allowing that because Amazon and Noon have a different structure of operation. So you can look at other players that are there in the markets as well. In India, there are many others. In Europe and the other parts of the world, Etsy.com is freely available. So just get online, open your account. Is as simple, guys, it's as simple as opening a Facebook account. I'm sure all of you have a Facebook account today. So if you have a Facebook account, might as well open your business account on Etsy or It's Her Store or Natty, wherever you are, in whichever part of the world you are. And just start. New niches and product lines. There is a huge potential, a new industry opportunity that has opened up when it comes to products, services, service and product related after sale services, many things you can do. Example, masks. Who would have thought that you could make a business of masks? LV is doing masks, designers are doing masks, grocery stores are doing masks, everyone is doing masks. Now, probably it might have gotten a little saturated in my opinion, but you can still explore these areas, guys. Make homemade sanitizers or hand washes. We sell them on our website. We have so many brands who have come on board during this lockdown period selling soaps just for hand washing. And they do sell. They've sold and they've made quite a bit of money. So doesn't matter how simple your idea is, just try and go with it. Just go with the flow. It really takes just that one push and one plunge. I compare running a business and starting it off with, to skydiving, because once you've taken the plunge, you're going to fly and you have the parachute at your back to just land safely in many ways. So just go with it. Which is why I said start small and go long. Don't invest a lot of money in the beginning. Start evaluating, start trial and error. Try and test and learn, test and learn. That's the name of the game. Being online is also test and learn. You have to try it to actually see if it's working for you or not. Change. Again, change is something that I always say, and I think everyone agrees and everyone knows how important understanding change is. Because even this pandemic has taught us that, right? Everything is not in our control. Only what we do is in our control. So if something external can change our lives so drastically and we're still surviving, our businesses will also survive. They're part of us. We've made them. So just take the plunge, guys. I would want to say, and I would want to share with you that a mentor, someone who can guide you with their experience, with their understanding and their area of expertise, can really help you build your business better. At least they will tell you what you must not do during that journey, probably because they've done those mistakes. So a mentor, any kind of mentor, maybe it's from the same industry or not. If someone has done business and you just want to take them and take their advice, make them your mentor. Mentorship is very important for a new business because you'll learn a lot and you'll avoid a lot of mistakes from that. I think, yeah, that's it from me. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Armin. That was really great. I think that gives them a lot of opportunities to start off with something new. So we will now open up. You should see a chat window with Q&A at the bottom. If any of you all would like to address your questions to a certain panelist, please do type in your questions with the name of the panelist who you would like to address it to.
I think we can ask them to unmute and also talk, right? Because this is the meeting format.
We could. Can we do that, Mr. Tantra, or should we keep it?
Yes, you can unmute yourselves.
FERZIN, I would like to ask a question. Can you hear me? Can I ask a question?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so firstly, thank you, ladies. Each of you are wonderful. Very interesting, very motivating. I was intrigued by what ARMIN said. No one will pay you for what you're worth. They will pay you for what they think you're worth. So my question is, what is holding you back from owning and operating your own business so you can earn what you're really worth?
Me personally, nothing. I have gone out there and been there. What did hold me back in the day, I would say a couple of years ago, because this is my third venture, Mr. Adel, was the lack of self-confidence and, again, fear of change and fear of the unknown. Which is why now I'm talking about go skydive, take the plunge, jump off the aeroplane, and be confident about yourself. So these are the two things that you first have to dabble with from within. Especially as a woman, there are many, many other layers. It's like an onion, you have to unpeel every single layer of apprehension and reservations to actually get there. But having interacted with those 500 women that we have on our platform currently, I know that there is a lot of need for validation as well. Because your idea is one thing. One person saying no to that idea might deter you, take you back 10 steps. And one person saying, yes, go ahead, might want to give you that push. So for me, a major part of my job, Mr. Adel, has been mentoring and actually motivating these women. Just telling them, guys, you can do it. We're there for you. You can do it. We've done it. You see where we are, just get on it. So self-confidence, even if you don't have it, just try to fake it till you make it. Is what I would say.
Sound.
Yeah,
Would any
sorry?
other ladies like to comment what they faced or what are their constraints from becoming business?
Sure.
I'd like to say something. Is that okay? Well, the reason, Ada, one of the main reasons to start the women's wing after all these years, so WZCC started in 2000, the women's wing started about 10, 15 years later, was this very particular thing. Every time you want to push and mentor people, we had them taking 10 steps back. And I realized it was not worth just to step in and blow things out, to take one step at a time, personally give them their personal experience, mentor them, as Armin said, one step at a time. It's like, you find seashells on the shore, you throw one back in and only one benefits. And you don't expect everybody to benefit all the time. That's the way Ladies Wing works. One at a time, small steps, but I think we'll get there. You have an example of all these youngsters already stepping forward. Makes me feel really very happy. And that is the main cause, self-confidence and their outlook that men are doing so much, so fast, so soon. What will we do? How can we do? How can we compete with them? How will we run with them? It's the confidence you give to the ladies that you don't have to run with everybody all the time. One step, your own pace will also do it.
I think Ms. Behrouz wonderfully said, wonderfully kept, worded. I want to just add to that because I come from a much different, if I may, age bracket, right? We have many other reservations in our own self versus what you might have gone through. But times are changing. And if we drive this forth, with the focus of let's do this for other women who in third world countries don't even have the rights to vote today. That's a big deal. It's not about what we can do on our own. It's actually about what we can inspire other women to do. And inspiration takes it. Inspiration takes it, leaps and bounds.
Each environment is different. Women in each environment have to react differently to their environment. Each generation is different. So it's not easy to amalgamate everybody at the same time, at the same pace, and make a khichdi out of it. So let's do it region-wise. Let's do it generation-wise, but at the same time, let everybody take part so that they understand what the other counterpart is going through or what the needs of the new generation and counterpart is. Adjusting by the seniors and pushing forward by the juniors, could make a good amalgamation. All three speakers were really very good. Tasneem, I'm glad I finally got you to speak to WZCC this time. And Delna, as usual, grateful. Thank you for agreeing immediately on joining this group. Thank you all. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. There is a quick question for Delna, if I may call it. It's been typed. So this goes out to you, Delna. During the pandemic, did you have clients who were availing your services of wardrobe styling and personal shopping?
Yes, personal shopping was a very important part of the entire pandemic, because not a lot of people are very well versed with what size fits them well, whether a particular product online suits their body type or no. So such people did require a lot of assistance because they wanted to buy.
The screen is frozen. We can't hear any.
Sorry?
Delna, come closer to the mic. That's
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, now we could hear. Yes, please go ahead.
So yes, the service was availed. As I said, not a lot of people know or are very well versed with shopping online in terms of what size suits them, what size is correct for them, or whether there's a particular outfit that suits their body type. And there were a lot of working women at home who wanted to avail the service, because they wanted to buy products that were good enough or right to wear for Zoom interviews and Zoom calls, and to do it from home. So that's where they availed my service. And it was a very interesting experience, because they would give me a brief about what they were looking at purchasing, and I would literally fill it out in a cart, and then they would purchase what they liked, and that's how it happened. But a lot of them did avail the service. So it was an interesting thing to see that women sitting at home still wanted to shop and still wanted to look good and wear the right size. So it was great to see. It was a very good experience, and it's still on. Even though Bombay has relatively opened up, women are still availing the service sitting at home. So it's been great.
Yes, thank you for that. And I do think that this actually has, given opportunities to women with young children who are actually, having issues with childcare. So when you have this remote working place, which is your home, your own home, I think that's a great initiative to start off something like Armin rightfully said, start off something, don't just take the plunge. Try out, test it, because you need not invest in about, and have a big investment or a capital investment. So that would be a great thing to start off with. Are there any other questions where you would like to ask personally, or you would like to type in? Please feel free to do it.
Hi, while we're waiting for the questions, I just want to say, I was a little distracted while not looking at my screen. I want to say why, because I'm having my online pop-up that's currently going on. And my team is managing it for us. They are doing their own webinar and selling the products. So 16 women are selling their products online, and we have about 200 attendees in it. And it's going to end in the next 20 minutes. I just sent you guys the link on the chat as well, if you want to join it and take a look. It's a very nice way of sharing, and meeting your customers while you're not meeting them. So it's an online pop-up and a market that we've arranged. So we take them through all of their journeys and their stories, and they do their little pop-ups and startups there, like in their house, in the living room. It's really nice. So that's why I've been a little distracted, apologies. But yeah, it's in the link if you guys want to join.
Thank you, Armin. That should be good, I think, if they are interested. I would like to wind off now with thanking none other than Mr. Yazdi Tantra, who has been very kind to host the webinar for us, and to all the panelists, to Mrs. Meher Besania again, to Ms. Beros Daruvala again, Thank you all for supporting the Women's Wing in Dubai and initiating this for all of us and the women out there. I will like to finish off with one last saying, which is by Mr. Churchill, who says, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." So I hope that you have all found some good insights into this webinar. Please feel free to connect with us, to contact us for any questions that you have. And we look forward to having many more such women's wing webinars for all of you out there. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, before we close, I would like to thank Adel, who got up so early and being with us. Adel, thank you very much. You are an inspiration to all of us. That's why we are all working so hard to make WZCC a success. Thank you, Beros. Thank you, ESD. Thank you, FERZIN, ARMIN, DELNA, Tasneem. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Online, thank you also. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I have missed anyone, please forgive me. But yes, it was a nice webinar. I wish only if we had more participants. There were not too many participants. And we must all, that's what we wanted to do in the first place. We tried hard, but unfortunately we didn't get.
Yes. One step, we'll do better the next time. We hope to do better and much better. We'll continue to endeavor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you all for your time.
Thanks a lot once again.